From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, June the 12th, 2017. A Hamas terror tunnel was discovered underneath two schools that are run by the United Nations in Gaza. The tunnels were found by workers of UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, at the beginning of the month and reported on Friday. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, filed an official protest letter against Hamas at the UN Security Council, calling on the council to condemn Hamas and to place it on its list of designated terror organizations, just as Israel and the United States have both done. A spokesman for UNRWA condemned the existence of the tunnel, and agency spokesman Christopher Guinness said on Friday, "It is unacceptable that students and staff are placed at risk in such a way." The agency also said they would seal the tunnel. Tunnels such as the one found have been used by Hamas to attack Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the discovery during his weekly cabinet meeting yesterday, where he said that Hamas is using school children as human shields, and this is the enemy that we have been fighting against for many years, an enemy that is committing a twofold war crime. On the one hand, it first attacks innocent civilians and then hides behind children. Hamas, meanwhile, has published new threats against Israel in the wake of an ongoing conflict over the supply of electricity to Gaza. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has asked Israel to reduce the amount of power that it provides to Gaza in order to put pressure on Hamas. The PA, which controls Palestinians in the West Bank, is ruled by the Fatah Party, which is a rival party to Hamas, who controls Gaza. Cutting the amount of electricity that Israel gives to Gaza is one way that Fatah is hoping to make Hamas let go of its control in Gaza. The Israeli cabinet agreed to Abbas's request last night and reduced the power supply by about 40%. Hamas called that decision catastrophic and dangerous, and a spokesperson for the terror group said that both Abbas and Israel will bear the consequences of that decision. Both Israel and the Palestinian Authority say that Hamas would have its own money to cover Gaza's power if the group didn't spend most of its resources on terror. The president of Nauru is in Israel this week. Nauru is a very small island country in Micronesia, northeast of Australia, the third smallest country in the world. Its president, Baron Waka, met yesterday with Israeli President Reuven Rivlin and today with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu in Jerusalem. Both leaders thanked Waka for his friendship and cooperation. The countries currently work together in a number of fields. For example, Israel helps to provide clean drinking water to the people of Nauru, as well as medical assistance. 3 synagogues in Los Angeles received bomb threats this weekend. The LAPD said that the Glazer and Irma's campus of Wilshire Boulevard Temple, as well as University Synagogue in Brentwood, were closed on Saturday after they received online threats. All 3 locations were reopened several hours later after police with canine units searched the premises and deemed them safe. The Times of Israel reports that a Palestinian Authority official has donated tens of thousands of shekels to the Rambam Medical Center in Haifa as a gesture of peace and coexistence. Rambam said the unnamed official received life-saving treatment himself at the hospital and later made a financial contribution in an effort to, quote, build peace through medicine. According to the statement from Rambam, the official was motivated after witnessing the coexistence at the hospital and equal treatment of all patients there, Palestinian, Israeli, Syrian, and others. The donation will go towards building a children's playroom in the Institute of Radiology of the Joseph Fishman Oncology Center at Rambam. Well, the 71st Annual Tony Awards were held last night at Radio City in New York, and winners included a number of Jewish performers, including Bette Midler, who won for Best Actress in a Musical for Hello Dolly, which also won a Tony for Best Revival. Ben Platt was named Best Actor in a Musical for Dear Evan Hansen, which also won Best Musical, with Tonys also going to the show's composers, Benji Pasek, who is Jewish, and Justin Paul. Best Director went to Rebecca Teichman for Indecent. Michael Aronov won for his portrayal of Israel's chief negotiator in the Oslo Accords, Uri Savir, in the play Oslo, which dramatizes the 1993 peace negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. Oslo also took home the Tony for Best New Play. And looking at our programming for tonight on JBS from Monday, June the 12th at 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer. At 7:30, more from the Jewish Orthodox Feminist Alliance Conference. At 8, award-winning authors Matti, Friedman, and Nicole Krauss discuss their respective approaches to writing about Israel in a program of the Jewish Week and Central Synagogue. At 9 tonight, Mark Golub speaks to Shalom Hartman Institute President Daniel Hartman on L'chaim. At 10 o'clock, Middle East expert Dennis Ross and former Israeli ambassador to the U.S. Itamar Rabinovich discuss the lasting effects of the Six-Day War, moderated by the Forward's editor Jane Eisner at the 92nd Street Y. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, remarks from U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley and Israeli Ambassador Ron Dermer from AIPAC. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, June the 12th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.